Hey guys, well, I got my package today. I've been looking forward to this one, and if you've seen the thumbnail you already know what it is, but before I like to unbox this, I'd just like to go through my relationship with Wolverine. So if you'd like to fast forward to the unboxing, it's listed in the chapters there, so you can skip ahead from me just droning on, but it's a little bit interesting. So my first introduction to this particular Wolverine was this magazine. I saw it at a newsagent's. It was Hewitt's Newsagents, which is not around anymore in the small town that I was in. Instantly caught my eye because I loved ninjas back in the day and the Shuko claw that they would wear. I'll show a couple of B-roll. There was a video game on the Commodore 64 that had this kind of style, I guess, weapon. And back then you'd have to load the tape, so you'd spend a lot of time looking at the covers. So I was obsessed with the claws. So obviously with the claws coming out, it really got my attention. And also with the Japanese Oni demon style mask here, which was one of his protagonists, one of his enemies there. So I thought I'd buy it and check it out. And it's basically just a 4-part series of basically a run up to where he was at that stage. This is from 1989. You can see here he also lived in Japan for a time, which also caught my attention. Little was I to know, another decade later I'd actually be living in Japan, so it all came to a head, which was awesome. So he dated a woman named Mariko back then. So yeah, a lot of samurai and fighting in Japan. So this character really grew on me. I didn't like him, well, didn't pay too much attention to him back in the day, mainly because he had that yellow and blue costume, which I may be one of the only ones, but I really didn't like it. I won't say I couldn't stand it, I just didn't like it. It looked awful. But then when he came along with the brown suit, he looked like a cool character. Or maybe I was just ready to the storyline just really hit me at that point. If we have a look at it, it's just got some really cool pictures from some of the comics throughout. I really like this picture here as well. So yeah, so eventually after this magazine, I finally got the rest. It was a 4-part saga. I really do suggest, if you're into Wolverine and you don't have all the comics, this is a really nice one to get you up to speed. Some nice artwork across there as well. I got these a couple of years later, I think, maybe at 92 or something there as well. And just as an aside, which is not to do with this toy, but yeah, if you've got a chance, Weapon X by Barry Windsor-Smith. This is amazing. Again, I think this was a series as well, maybe a 6-part. It's all been put into a graphic novel style, but the colours and the artwork is amazing. So I do really suggest, if you want to learn the Weapon X origins of Wolverine. Fantastic. So check that out as well. Alrighty, so yeah. So this today, what we're going to be unboxing is the CT Toys knockoff version of the Mafex brown and tan, or tan and orange, I don't know what colours they are, the brown suit uniform of Wolverine. Now, I don't know how they've been getting away with this, but this has been lighting up the internet. It's been very, very popular because the Mafex version evidently is quite expensive now in the second-hand market, and they don't have a release for it yet. And that being said, now this has been released, they might do it. But yeah, let's go ahead and unbox it. So the packaging looks really, really good too. If you have a look here, I won't show you the address obviously, but it doesn't seem to be damaged. We got here quite quickly. There was a slight delay originally because the factory had a slight delay evidently, because these have been going very popular. Have a look here. This is my first superhero toy since the late 70s. My main guy was Spider-Man back when I was a child, and I only had one Spider-Man, or one superhero figure, and that was a Pocket Heroes, which I'll show here on the B-roll. And that's the only one I had. I'm not sure why, I just like my figures in the comics, I guess. Which is strange, because I did like Batman. I've got a ton of those comics as well. Yeah, but I'm not sure why it didn't grab me. But I've been looking for a perfect Wolverine. It wasn't out and out wanting to buy one, but I thought if one came along that was a perfect representation of the one that I liked, well then I'd finally get one. And lo and behold, it did. So this is good news. We've got a nice box. Looks a little small, but I have no idea about the Mafex. I've got nothing to compare this to except for other figures that I have in my collection, which I will do later on in the video. Got the bubble wrap. The CT Toys version of the Mafex is supposed to be slightly smaller than the original, which I've seen online, which actually works for him, because I'll put up another picture here on the B-roll. He's actually supposed to be 5'5" in the comics. Of the early ones there. See how this comes out. So him being shorter than the Mafex version actually works out, because he was a short person. We're not including Hugh Jackman, obviously. He's over 6 foot or something, and his Wolverine is quite nice too, but we're talking about the comic version here. The main reason why I wanted this one is because of the buck and the claw design. Okay, it's a giant jigsaw puzzle. Hang on. I just don't want to damage the box. I've seen some people's have been crushed. Oh, look at this. Try and get it out without destroying the box. It does seem to be crushed in this corner here. Got bits of stuff everywhere just here, which is unfortunate. Here we go, here's Wolverine. His head has fallen off in the box, which is not a terrible thing. Same thing happened with my Skeletor for the throne room, if you remember on that video. Which is unfortunate. But yeah, let's have a look at that. So the Mafex one, this is the 138, number 138 in their series. We have the back. Yeah, it's a pity this was crushed here. But, it's a little bit better condition than I've seen some that have arrived. But it's just a pity that that happened. Yes, this is my second superhero figure. I'm not really interested in any others, except for one next year that's just been released or revealed in the Mafex lines. Sorry, the Marvel Legends line. But yeah, you won't see that till next year when it's released. So let's go ahead and open him. I'm pretty sure this is the Mafex box as well. It's pretty similar, and we've got the CT Toys version here. I really don't know how they're getting away with this with the knockoff versions, but they're just getting better and better. Alright, so let's just have a look here, see if we can open him. The box itself is very thin, bends very easily. Very easy. Let's see, it's already crimpled there. I was going to try to peel off the sticker, but I don't think that's going to happen. Oops, it's upside down. I'm left-handed, that's why I do everything the other way. And there we go, there we have it. Now here we have a basic flight stand as well, and I've already done a video on these type of flight stands, so I'm not going to put this one together. I'll just get one of my others so you can see that on another video. They're quite fine as long as the figure isn't too heavy. These are quite suitable, as you've seen my Boba Fett video as well. So there's nothing else in the box. It's got a nice texture inside too. these are the ones I bought off eBay off another Chinese retailer. They were very cheap. It was two, I won't even say the price, I can't even remember. But if we have a look here, it's quite similar. The only thing is this one here has a couple of more adjustable bases. Sorry, adjustable plugs here. They've got 4 instead of 3, which is fine. Look to be almost the same size. And the mechanisms are basically exactly the same too. So I'll just use these ones mainly because they've already assembled. So I can pop this one back in the box. So Wolverine's a lot of jumping. If you've got Colossus, you can do the, is it the speedball or whatever they want to call it? Yes, that's basically what this looks like. It's reasonably sturdy, and if you need it to be tightened, you can just tighten up the screws there for whichever pose you need. But yeah, it suits it. It's not spring loaded, obviously, so you do have to be careful. But yeah, they're quite stable, and this one I'm sure is as well. Okay, where were we? So we've got the flight stand. Now these knockoff toys have become quite popular because of the quality that they are now and the price. Now I think I just mentioned the Mafex ones are going for hundreds of dollars on the second-hand market. So these $20–30 American, I think. Quite a good deal. The first thing I noticed is he doesn't have that many accessories, which is why I bought something for him, which I'll show in a sec. There's a couple of things I think they should have added. Just open the box here. Nice and sturdy. I like that. Get my Wolverine out. Let's hope he's not broken. Again, I don't have much experience, well, 0 experience with these. It's quite warm here today, so I don't think I'm going to need a heater or anything to blow these up. And this is the reason why I decided to bite the bullet and grab this guy. Mainly because I really like the buck. I like this style buck. I like my Masters of the Universe. I don't like the style where it's just this kind of crunch, like the Masterverse Classics. Sorry, the Masters of the Universe Classics. So let's just put his head back on. Might as well have a look at it while it's off. And that's beautiful. Beautifully designed. You can see a bit of his ear in line there. My eyes aren't so good, but that paint looks great. I've heard some problems people are having with the eyes not being painted correctly, but this one's spot on. A bit of orange paint there, a bit of wash, give it a bit of thickness, a bit of 3D. Very, very nice. I'll see if I pop this on and nothing horrible happens. No, clicked on beautifully. Look at that. I've really come around to these butterfly grips. I didn't really like them the last couple of years. I thought they were a bit messy, and unfortunately with the Tiger Stripe version of his first uniform, it does come across here and kind of breaks up the line when you're moving the joints around, which is a pity. But for the brown suit, it doesn't really affect it. Fantastic. It's cleaner and much better detail than I was expecting, which is really, really good to see. So we've got a ton of articulation here, and also for these guys, especially for Wolverine, this butterfly joint here really allows for some cool movements, bringing his shoulders in together to get that hunched berserker mode that he's known for. Got some beautiful detail on the gloves there. Look at that. My eyes are a bit terrible, but I can't see any kind of overwash there. The pin is slightly noticeable, but remember, this is a knockoff, so these are super nitpicky things to say. So that all seems to be working fine. It's very smooth. I've heard some of the joints are quite tight and some. It's not too loose, not too tight. This is amazing. It really is. So we've got some good angles. He looks up quite nicely, which is good because, again, 5'5". I'm quite short too, so I know how he feels. Fantastic range of motion looking down. We've got the ab crunch. If you just lift his arms up, he's got a nice wash under the rib cage here too. Not so apparent on the legs here. I don't see much bleed, or no bleed on here as well. Again, I'm being super picky for a knockoff, and for the price of this, Honestly, it really is a must-buy. I've heard the joints on the knees and the elbows are not really painted, so it does stand out, but honestly, not too fussed. It is a little bit orange here and on the side here as well. One thing is the buttery smooth, the joints. I really can't stress that enough. It's really nice. So we've got some turn. Hopefully the waist turns as well. The belt, which seems to be separate, is stopping it from twisting a little bit there. You can really get it in there if you like, but again, you don't need that too much. There we go. It all kind of comes together to give him the flexibility that he needs. I've heard there's a bit of a burr on this side here, and you can kind of see it. You want to be careful there that the paint doesn't rub off. The brown is a nice matte brown. It's not too glossy. The definition of the muscles is really well done. Something I've seen that I'm impressed with too are the lats coming across here, and just the muscle definition across here as well on the traps. Fantastic. His head turns all the way around. If he gets smacked in the head by the Incredible Hulk, you can give him a good whack. Now the only thing I'll show you on that picture again is the X-Men here. I'd prefer that to be his traditional belt and buckle, which I'll show here. I would have preferred that. Other than that, I think this is the perfect Wolverine brown suit. I mean, I've looked at these for years and thought, nah, maybe not, nah, maybe not. But yeah, this one, I thought, why not? What have I got to lose for this kind of price? And again, I mean, you're a bit squeaky there. A bit of WD-40 or something, or some sewing machine oil. My first blemish is just here on the thigh. That's coming up. Tiny little blemish. His knees come up well if he's going to sit in a vehicle. I mean, he's got a motorbike too, so if you can find that 6-inch version, you could probably just pop him on there as well if you so wish. Now, something that this has that the Mafex one doesn't have is a boot swivel. So they've added this. Don't want to get too intense with it, but evidently that does twist around slightly. You can see there. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but I don't want to stress the knee joints. The boots here aren't bent. No warpage, which is another problem I have with a lot of the Wolverines. The claws, which we're going to get into in a sec, they're just always bent. They look terrible. But yeah, we've got a lot here. Got some nice bend in the wrist as well. Fingers rotate right around. Sorry, the hand, the fist. That's all good. Yeah, I'm going to have fun with this little guy. He's great. As well, if we have a look at his boots, beautiful paintwork across here too. Nothing out of line. This is insane. So we've got the angle. We've also got, I hope so, a bit of toe articulation here as well. It's nice and tight. A bit of an ankle ball joint here as well. And I'm guessing that'll be, yeah, we've got it to the side as well. So you've got a lot of articulation, posability there as well, which we'll do at the end of this video. So straight out of the box, yeah, he's fantastic. Remember, he's a knockoff. But I do have a knockoff Soundwave from Transformers, and that was just as amazing too, although I had a little bit more problem with that one than I do with this, with the joints. They're a little bit too tight. Yes, let's go have a look at his accessories. He stands up nicely there. Again, we'll do some poses shortly. That wasn't a pun, by the way. Does he stand up okay? He's a little bit finicky. I am used to the Masterverse guys. There we go. But yeah, I'll just bring the camera down a bit so we can get a bit of an angle of that. Be about 16 centimeters, right up to the, oops, right up to the tips of his head. And yeah, I think that's 6 inches, American speak. which again is completely fine because he's supposed to be a short little fella as well. Yeah, no, that's really cool. So if we have a look here at the accessories, what have we got? Okay, they come out, they're not clipped in. One hand's disappeared already. Okay. So we have an extra head and a mask that's been pulled off, and an open head where he's screaming. Now I like this because it's painted right up into the mouth there and the back of the teeth. If I can show that there. He's got some nice blue highlights that may not be coming up through his hair, which is nice based on the old comics. They'd do that just to show a bit of texture as well. His eyes look good. The ears and the back of the head there, nicely textured. This is nice. There are a couple of nitpicks with this, but we'll get into that in a sec. We have the mask down, so when you take off his head, this goes on the back with this head over here. Nicely designed. I do like the effort that's gone through. Now this isn't CT Toys' fault, obviously. This is a Mafex design that they copy, so these criticisms go towards a Mafex, not the CT Toys version. Now here, which is a bit of a strange choice, we have Wolverine with his little smirk. I'll put up a B-roll picture here too of him having a bit of a smirk there too. I don't know if that's where they got it from, but you could probably recreate that scene with Nightcrawler as well. I've also got a picture of him appearing with his brown suit for the first time. I think it was 189 or 139. I'll put that in here. So we'll pop that head on in a sec. And here we have the hands. I would have liked some gripping hands so we could hold something. That would have been nice. But this could probably do with a couple of things if you're careful with posing him. And again, we've got some nice detail on I guess the sheath guides. I don't know what you'd call those here on the glove as well. This one as well. And of course the stars of the show while we're all here, these are his claws. Now these stood out straight away to me, to be fair, because they look amazing. The Mafex original yellow and blue striped version has the straight version claws, because they've done by different artists as well. They've done different depictions of the claws and they look nice too, but they looked a bit strange how long they were. But this here, maybe physically speaking they may not work, but for a cartoon action figure that is amazing. And I love, none of them are bowed, they're perfectly straight. That was another reason why I really like this one. So let's go ahead and mess around with the accessories here and have a look, and then I'll show you the accessory that I bought that I really like. It took me a while to find, but I absolutely love it, and it's something you guys should do too if you're into Wolverine. I think this should have been included with the package by Mafex. I'm not quite sure why they didn't. So to do this, we already know that this guy pops his head off nice and easily. It's not as scary as the Masterverse ones. It comes up without any too much resistance, which I really like. And you can also, I'm told, turn this peg around as well so you can get more angle. But for me it seems to be working fine. Okay, so we'll pop this one away. I'm going to be keeping on display with this one. It seems to be perfect for me. So let's try this one. So first of all, we pop this over the neck area. Fits over quite nicely. And the screaming head. Oh, that's interesting. Look at that. Looks like it's a plug-in mouth, which is probably why they painted it so well and gave it so much depth. Put that in. Oops. I think with this one, you probably have to turn it around a bit. Okay, you've really got to make sure that the neck part is up so he fits. Again, I'll do some pose pictures at the end of the video so you can get a better depiction of that, but that looks nice. It also has the orange kind of flashing tone here on the back as well, a bit of wash if you want to call it that, which is nice. If you want your Wolverine to be screaming. He's very photogenic. This would be great for some comedy poses as well. I really like that, that's good. He's ready to fight. So we'll take that off, put the grin on. It's not so much of a grin, more of a smile. A satisfying click. There we go. It's got a nice smirk. Looking good. As well, nice catch. Alright, so let's change it back to the one that I would like here. Click him back on. Now, just one thing I want to say about the heads, and we'll move on. Again, I don't have much criticism. Again, this is towards Mafex, not CT Toys. But I would have preferred this grin on the unmasked head, the shouting face on the masked head. I think that would look much, much better and give me a much more variety of poses that I needed. For me personally, I don't know about anybody else, but yeah, that's just one slight misstep for me, considering it's so close. Yeah, okay. So next, we just pop off, well, I hope they pop off. Oh, they came out really easily. That's great. That's good. I get anxiety about these things. So, right hand. I don't know how stout these claws are, so you'd want to be careful. They're a little bit tighter than the hands I just took off. Oops. Okay. So yeah, as we can see here, he's a person just like Spider-Man. He does have a lot of contortion type of poses, and the amount of posability that he has here really lets him get into those. I would have loved a mask, just, yeah, with him screaming. It would have looked so much better. Maybe they can release some heads. I'm sure the Aftermarket has done that. I really haven't looked at it. This wasn't something I was particularly going to buy until I saw the pre-orders pop up. But yeah, look how good he looks. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm really impressed. Yeah, besides those tiny nitpicks, and that's being super picky because he's just a toy and he is a knockoff again. So it's the 5th time I've said it, I guess. But yeah, he looks really good. So I will do some comparisons with some other figures that I have just to give you a size. I mean, he is quite small compared to the toys I'm used to. But again, I think it's perfect. I can see why these things are so popular. The metallic sheen looks so good in the light as well. There's going to be a bunch of people doing pictures of these. He is, again, he's so photogenic, it's ridiculous. a little bit hard to bend them in this way, bending them up like this. But again, I think it's just the tightness of the ball joint there. It does bend back quite far. But he gets into position quite well, quite easily. I'm surprised at the smoothness of the joints, I really am. See if he falls over, maybe not. No, that looks good, he really looks good. So we'll mess around with him in a bit. I think he's a great figure, he's a must buy, honestly. I mean, if this is the quality of knockoff toys now, I don't know how they're getting away with it, to be honest. He does, as some people have said here, I think he's got the drop down joints where they just drop down slightly, get a bit more angle in there. You can do splits too. It's cool. Yeah, ball joints in here as well. I'm not quite sure how resilient that the paint is. Yeah, it's just fun playing with him. He's awesome. So yeah, this is probably a must-buy figure. If you're into Wolverine and you like the brown suit, which I do, I prefer this much more than the others. It's a must-buy if you don't have the Mafex one. Oh, that's why. I put him on the peg. There we go. The peg was in the wrong angle, so that's on me. Just got to make sure that it lines up with the ball joint so it can bend in like that. Yeah, very photogenic. That's cool. So I'd just like to show you just something else. So this guy, as well, as I've mentioned, he went to Japan, and he had a whole arc over there as well, and he was going to marry a lady named Mariko, and she was part of the Yoshida clan, I think, and part of that was getting an honor sword. So I'll show you some B-roll here of what the honor sword was. Now, I think this is one of the accessories that Mafex kind of slipped up on. They should have put in a sword for him at least. Whoops. He's down. Wolverine's down. We can just sit him there. So I went online and had a look. I thought a samurai sword really makes sense for Wolverine, being a 6-inch figure. So I popped online and I really wanted a particular style. So what happened was I picked up this for his honor sword. It's for 6-inch figures. I got him off of eBay, very, very cheap off of eBay. What I found cool about this, you can get plastic ones, but this one's actually metal. See that? No, it's not sharpened, but it's got the bloodline on here, on the katana as well. You probably can't, it's not showing up there probably. It's quite weighty too, because the scabbard also is made out of metal. Very nicely done. We've got a nice guard here. I think it's a Subi. I can't remember now. As well. There was a lot of ones with black blades, but I wanted one with a black handle as well. It's supposed to be shark skin, and then it's wrapped around with a cord to get that distinct pattern. It's got a little area here for the figure to hold as well. And I really think this should have been added in, but for $10 off eBay you can get your own. And when I bought it, they actually gave me a stand as well as a gift, which was not included originally. So you can pop this in your scabbard and pop that here for Wolverine, so he can be sitting down as well. And which is why I prefer one of these to be a grasping hand, so he could actually hold it. As well. So something like that. I guess I could use some putty to get him to hold it on the hand. But yeah, that seems to be a slight missed opportunity. As well, a sword. But I thought it'd be nice just for display. So it's an option. You can get the wakizashi and the katana. I think the long and short swords. That's something if you want to do. But yeah, there's an option for it. The stand is actually plastic, but yeah, that was a really cool thing. All over eBay. Just have a quick look. You'll find one. So yeah, so that's my review there. Next we'll do some comparisons, some other figures. You can get a kind of a feel of what he looks like. But if you're into these guys, yeah, see that there? Yeah, the bend's much better now. I think he's a must-buy. Everybody's been saying it as well, and yeah, I have to agree. It's amazing, and that's the only reason. Whoops! Just got to make sure that the pin actually matching on this side, so it goes this way, so it does actually bend in a little bit tight. But yeah, just be careful you don't press on those. I don't know how strong these claws are. But yeah, next we'll do comparisons of some figures, and then we'll do some pictures. But that's the CT Toys Wolverine. And yeah, besides those tiny little nitpicks, sorry, against Mafex, not against CT Toys, as I've said. It's a must-buy. If you love Wolverine in the brown suit, yeah, grab him. Especially because the Mafex one I saw online in Australian dollars. Some of them are asking $400 to $500 for this, from $2 to $5, which is ridiculous. But yeah, this is probably one of the best figures I've had. I wasn't looking for a superhero figure, but yeah, this has come out and completely enjoy it. Cheers, guys. Next we'll do the comparisons. Thank you.